The light at the end of the tunnel, Michael, is a freight train, but it's not
Not
hopeful.
good.
Like 7% is high compared to where interest rates, where inflation has been, at least over the
Hmm.
last number of years, and interest rates are going up.
Mm.
That's why people. We talk about people just paying the rent and paying the mortgage. I think about 28% of Canadians are worried or somewhat worried about paying the rent or the mortgage, and that might not seem like a lot, but
Mm.
even during the pandemic, as opposed to 28%, it was 16%, 15%, back in 2021.
Hmm.
28% is 8.7 million Canadians. So there are a lot of people right now that are just worried about, do I have enough money to pay the rent or the mortgage in the next while?
Nick, you've also been tracking how Canadians feel about housing costs as well.
Yeah. And the thing is so think of it this way. The cost of housing is going up because of interest rates, but our weekly tracking, when we ask about the value of real estate, is now underwater. And when I say underwater, it means that Canadians are more likely to think that the value of real estate is going to go down than go up in the next 6 months. And to put this into context, in the last 16 years that we've been tracking this all the time, uh, Canadians have always consistently thought that real estate prices and values would continue to rise. So
Mm.
you've got like a double whammy right now, Michael, where if you're in the market, you think the value of your home is going to go down, and you're feeling worried about that. If you're not in the market, it's still unaffordable and completely out of reach, and you're worried about just being able to pay the rent or being able to cover off mortgage rates and interest rates that have been highs that we haven't seen, at least for a decade.
So I just going back to the ballot tracking that we mentioned at the top of the show, Nick. This seems to sort of increase support for the NDP and for the
Yeah.
Conservatives. So I think people are blaming the party in power. I think that's fair to say. So how do the Liberals tackle this?
Oh man, they've just got to ride it out. And the reality is this is a perfect storm for both the Conservatives and the New Democrats.
Hmm.
This is kind of like why don't we call this? It's kind of like a political piranha tank. You know what I mean? Like Justin Trudeau is being lured into a piranha tank, and he's got both the Conservatives and the NDP kind
Hmm.
of trying to eat into Liberal support, and that's what we're seeing right now. And we have to remember that you know even though all the parties are low on their level of support, right? The Conservatives are first, still at 31%. Um, what really counts are seats in the House of Commons. And this is where the vote splits are actually absolutely critical. And, with the New Democrats, if they're in the mid 20s, they're basically spoiling the election for
Hmm.
the Liberals. And what the Liberals have to worry about, what they have to hope for at least, is that people are just temporarily parking with the New Democrats. Because the longer people park in the New Democrat space, the more likely they are to stay there. So actually, the Liberals have to do something to shake some of those progressive voters that are drifting to the New Democrats to come back to the Liberals, so they don't get too comfy with
Hmm.
Team Orange and they potentially come back to the red team. But you know what? Right now, Jagmeet Singh should be Pierre Poilievre's best friend. You're never going to see Pierre Poilievre attack Jagmeet Singh. He's going to want him to perform well in order to have those vote splits for the Conservatives to pop up the middle and capture more seats in the House of Commons.